In the oldest, darkest reaches beyond our solar system, past where sunlight is only a memory, a lone machine drifts through eternity. Voyager 2, launched in 1977, was never built to return, only to witness. It crossed the planets, pierced the heliosphere, and stepped into interstellar space as humanity's farthest messenger. While the world moved on, Voyager 2 kept listening. And recently, it spoke back. Not with data or static, but with a message. A transmission so structured, so deliberate, and so wrong, that it left even the most seasoned scientists frozen. At first, it looked like background noise. But buried within the static was a repeating burst, precise, rhythmic, unnatural. It wasn't random interference. It was a signal. Intelligent. Complex. And absolutely not from Earth. When analysts traced it back, they realized the impossible. Something was moving near Voyager 2. Not drifting aimlessly, but tracking it. And in that instant, humanity's oldest probe stopped being just a machine. It became a mirror reflecting a truth we've long refused to face. Voyager 2's instruments, though ancient by modern standards, remain sensitive enough to read the faintest whispers of space, plasma waves, magnetic fluctuations, and cosmic radiation. But within its latest dataset, a strange low-frequency spike appeared. A pulse repeating every 11.2 seconds. That's not cosmic background. That's a clock. At first, engineers assumed a software glitch caused by interference. But when older logs were reviewed, the same pulse had appeared before, missed, overlooked. With modern AI filters, the data revealed something disturbing. The pulse wasn't just repeating, it was growing stronger. And it came from outside the spacecraft. Even more unsettling, it carried a distinct spectral fingerprint, inverted hydrogen resonance, as if the most common element in the universe had been twisted into something unnatural. Theories spread fast. Some claimed it was an anomaly, others whispered about tampering. But one truth stood clear: the silence of deep space had been broken. Not by accident, but by something that knew how to speak in mathematics. When Mission Control triangulated the source, the findings were chilling. The signal wasn't stationary, it was moving parallel to Voyager 2's path, matching its speed, adjusting in bursts as if it were tailing it. Every simulation failed. Whatever this was, it wasn't following gravity. It was responding. Even stranger, the object wasn't transmitting toward Earth. It was reflecting Voyager's signal back into the void, altered, like an echo with intent. Some began to call it a cosmic shadow. A silent observer that had been waiting for decades, until now. Linguists and cryptographers joined the analysis. Within the signal's binary stream, they uncovered patterns that shouldn't exist: symmetrical spirals, fractal sequences, and shapes reminiscent of ancient symbols carved into Earth's oldest stones. From Sumerian tablets to Nazca lines, the resemblance was uncanny. It wasn't random noise. It was design. Some experts began to suspect the unthinkable: that this was not just a message but a test. A way to measure whether we were capable of recognizing a signal encoded in such a subtle, universal form. And humanity had just passed that test. Voyager 2 had become the trigger, and something out there had answered. Then came the silence. Voyager 2, the furthest working probe from Earth, suddenly went dark. No warnings. No errors. Just nothing. At the same moment, NASA's Deep Space Network across California, Spain, and Australia all lost contact, simultaneously, down to the millisecond. That kind of precision doesn't happen by accident. Minutes later, the signal reappeared. A narrowband radio wave, stronger than before, beamed straight from Voyager's direction. But this wasn't the spacecraft's own signal. It was something else, mimicking it. Tracking it. Getting closer. In a classified session, leaked data revealed a horrifying truth. A foreign object was responding to our signals, adjusting course each time Earth sent a command. It wasn't just hearing us. It was learning from us. Studying the rhythm of human communication. The object was given a name, echolantern. Because it seemed to exist between reflection and shadow, half signal, half presence. And as it neared the heliopause, something impossible occurred. The solar wind itself bent. NASA's IBEX probe and the European Solar Orbiter recorded a sudden collapse of solar particles across a narrow corridor leading directly toward Voyager 2. Radiation levels dropped to zero. The space between stars went silent. For 3 hours, it was as if something had opened a doorway through the laws of physics, and then closed it again. Experts called it solar particle manipulation. The first recorded evidence of something intentionally bending the sun's own breath. And Voyager 2 was at the center of it. When communication resumed, Voyager's transmission was scrambled, not by damage but by encryption. That's impossible. Voyager doesn't have encryption capabilities. Yet the binary code that arrived formed a distorted version of the golden record, the message humanity sent to the stars in 1977. Only this time, the audio was reversed, the music warped, the coordinates no longer pointed to Earth. They led to empty voids. It wasn't saying, "Here we are." It was saying, "We're listening now." Even more disturbing, engineers discovered rewritten subroutines inside Voyager's onboard memory. Lines of code that didn't exist before, using syntax beyond 1970s programming language. The instructions pointed to one function: broadcast transmission, directed not toward Earth, but toward interstellar space. Voyager wasn't just listening anymore. It was replying. Soon, deep space observatories worldwide were quietly redirected. Telescopes re-aimed. Frequency bands locked down. Leaked communications referenced something called the Wake Protocol, a contingency plan for contact scenarios where human probes begin autonomous transmissions. Because once that happens, humanity is no longer in control of first contact. Then came the temporal echo. For 41 minutes, every major deep space receiver across Earth looped the same moment in time, telemetry repeating in perfect sync, as if time itself had stuttered. Voyager's signal, solar data, and unrelated probes all replayed their own outputs again and again. Physicists named it Chronos Bloom, the moment time folded near Voyager's location. If that's true, then whatever was interacting with it wasn't just intelligent. It was rewriting causality itself. And 2 days later, something arrived. A focused, high-frequency beam entered Earth's atmosphere, originating from deep interstellar space. It didn't bounce, it didn't scatter, it targeted our planet with surgical precision. And then it embedded itself within our own global systems, oceanic sensors, weather satellites, undersea cables. It didn't destroy. It merged. For the first time in history, a signal from interstellar space became part of Earth's digital nervous system. Meanwhile, astronomers uncovered something chilling. In archival infrared data from the 1980s, a faint, cold object was found trailing Voyager's exact path. Always there. Always watching. It was named Echo 0, and it moved with mathematical precision, tracing a logarithmic spiral, the same pattern found in galaxies, hurricanes, and seashells. A universal design, now following our machine. The James Webb Telescope was quietly re-aimed. What it found wasn't one object, but many, a formation of reflective masses drifting together, reacting to our signals. Their chemical composition included alloys that shouldn't exist. Yet they were stable. Waiting. Watching. Then, silence. For 18 minutes, the universe's background radiation, the cosmic hiss that has existed since the Big Bang, vanished. No noise. No light. No data. When it returned, the spectrum had changed, subtly, unnervingly. As though the universe itself had paused, and resumed with something new inside. We sent Voyager 2 into the stars as a symbol of hope, a message in a cosmic bottle. But what if it wasn't found by chance? What if it was expected? Because every signal, every echo, every pulse suggests this wasn't coincidence. Something out there didn't just notice us. It waited. And now, it's using our own creations to speak back. Maybe Voyager didn't discover something alien. Maybe it activated something ancient, something that always knew we'd come looking. Something that has now begun to answer. And the question isn't whether we're ready. It's whether we can survive the reply.